Hello and greetings to you, viewer from across the tubes. I am Gnarly Quack, although my friends and enemies call me Carl. And once again, I am working on Dr. Strangetest, my testing framework for PHP. And I think this is probably like the fifth or sixth or seventh stream I've said this now, but I think we've actually got the diffs finished up. But and today my plan is to mainly go through that code, do a final pass, a final pass until you end up rewriting the whole thing again. But and just sort of clean that up, take a look at what's going on there, maybe simplify some stuff, clean up some of the interfaces, and I think we'll be able to call that done. So it's been a long and torturous path, including yesterday when I realized basically the way I was generating diffs for unequal comparisons was completely wrong, and then found my tests full of a bunch of copy pasta. But I think we're finally the water is getting shallower as we reach the other side, I guess. So, and I think we might be in a clean directory here. We are not in a clean directory. That's right. I after my impromptu stream from yesterday, I went and just kind of tweaked a few of the tests, and that reminds me actually that I think I want to go in and add just a couple more tests. Just to test the formatting of incomparable objects. So this is going to be in test diff, diff. I guess this is going to be greater. So we've got test object, lesson object. I guess what we'll do here is there are two different types of tests I want to do here. We're going to need an incomparable object, the same class. And what this is going to look like is, I guess, 1 goes to 1, and 2 goes to 2. And then we'll have 2 goes to 2, and then 3 goes to 3. And this should be incomparable. And I guess what we'll have is we're going to want, this is going to say 1 needs to go away. 2 I think is okay. And 3 needs to be added. I think that's what we should get there. So let me test that. So 1, 2. Oh, I guess this is, what are we in, greater? Yeah. So that does make sense. This is why we have tests, I guess. So actually, this is gonna need to be made greater. That, is that what we're saying? Yeah, so that looks good. So what I guess we'll do is v-split oh, that was not what I expected, but that works. That works. So now this should be fine, but it should be what I wrote last time, where that's okay. Okay, so here, let's pull out test if last. Nope. Object greater than object, so put this down here. Nope, that is not what I wanted to paste or copy. Hey, Schoolie, welcome back. How are you today? Thanks for stopping back in. I was lurking for a little bit. I kind of turned his stream on and then went and made breakfast, but then I looked for a little bit. I was gonna tell him to turn up his audio, but I chickened out. But yeah, I saw you. I think I took off right after you stopped in and said hello. I hadn't seen him stream before, and since I'm a newish streamer without many people watching, I figured I've sorted my streams now by low to high viewers, and I've just tried to kind of poke around in some of the streamers with a little bit fewer viewers, just to see what's going on. Have you been in there before? Yeah. Yeah, it's I occasionally watch John Blow's stream, and he comments all the time that the Twitch chat doesn't scale for popular channels, which I have to agree with. You get too many people there, and with programming, I think it's especially hard, but that's true in general. Okay, so now I think the last test I want to do here is comparing objects of a different class. So I think maybe the way I want to do this is I'll just create a setup file here. Oops. And I guess I'll namespace this under test diff, and I'll do class comparable 1, and let's do you know what, I don't even need that constructor. I'll just put this as that, and then literally, oops, just needing comparable 2. Okay, so now here we'll use test diff incomparable 1, incomparable 2, and then where did I test comparable objects? I think the difference here is we should just flat out get a minus comparable 1 this is going to be what foo equals foo, and that's going to be replaced by, oops, I think that's what we should get there. Oh, I need to save. Need to save all my files. That has definitely become a problem with me. So what did we actually get? Oh, that's right. We need to qualify this. So this is going to be test diff. So what's the difference here? I don't see any difference there. Oh, that's actually not what I was expecting. So why are we getting that? Let's just focus on this test. This is going to be function equals... Okay. By the way, I guess I never answered your question earlier. I'm doing well today. It's the last day of the summer here in Chicago, and I may have to make sure I get out before the sun goes down. I do not have a Discord at the moment. I actually... Oh, really? Small world, I guess, huh? Well, then you probably know what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm actually in the city. I'm near Wrigley Field, actually. So let's just echo this. Anyway, to finish my story about Discord, I had not signed up for one, and I think we're saying... What is this? Compare values. Okay, so that's an error. I hadn't previously signed up for one, but I was going to sign up to join like another streamer's Discord. And after about 5 or 6 times clicking on the yawning lions to make sure I wasn't a bot, for some reason they thought I was still a bot or something, and they immediately disabled my account, and I just got kind of too frustrated and angry at them to care about to care about fixing it. But I guess I'm gonna have to actually send some emails and fix it. Yeah, I know. It's like, how many yawning lines do you want me to click on to prove that I'm not a nefarious person? I mean, I guess I could still be nefarious even though I'm not a bot, but I was really just trying to join somebody's Discord channel. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do, actually. Okay, so what's going on here? We get back... So we're saying this is a match error. So they are not of the same type. No, they are the same type, but they are not of the same class. So then we're saying... Oh, this is what's going on here, I guess. So I suppose we need to move this chuck down here. And what is this we're testing? Result, I guess. And this is what? Unequal comparator match error. Then I suppose we want this to go to just a delete value. Insert value. We need to pass in the state there, I guess. And a reverse is going to be false. Position doesn't matter. So how much stuff did that break? Nothing. In fact, it fixed everything. I just need to get rid of my output now. Okay, sweet. So where did I put that in? Would I have that in less? Yeah. So well, let's just grab the top one. So these should all look the same, I believe. Although I'm gonna have to import this name. Oops. And then sweet, okay. And we have less, so we just need to do less equal. And this should look the same thing. Okay, so I think I'm actually good on all my tests. So where am I here? I think I'll just add these on. What branch am I on? So let me just push this up to the GitHub repository and see if my test matrix passes. So I'm going to go private for a second just to make sure I'm logged in. Which looks like I am logged in. So I should expect a failure on 8.2. And actually, while that's running, I'm going to go refill my coffee cup real quick. So actually, I'll just do an AFK for like 2 minutes here. Oh, and it looks like everything passed. Sweet. Okay, back in a couple minutes. Okay, back. I grabbed the banana too. Yeah, no worries, Schoolie. If you, I know you're not a PHP coder, but if you do have any questions about anything, even if it's just not even PHP specific, if it's something I'm working on, feel free to jump in. Otherwise, yeah, I appreciate the alert. Hello, Bazin. The famous Bazin greeting. How are you today? I'm doing well. I've said this many times, but I think today I'm actually going to finish up with all this work on generating diffs for my framework. I think I just set everything past there. Yeah. How are you doing today? Oh no. Well, that's why I don't that's why I don't have expensive headphones. I've lost them so many times. Uh but yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. Or actually, I don't know if you're a man or not, but that sucks. I'm sorry. Okay, so I think the first thing I want to do is take a look at this format stuff. And the first thing I'm going to do here is create this new formatter. I'm going to set the prefix to format indent, and that's going to be starting indent level. And then that will just be sort of the first simple change. I'm also going to get rid of this format indent function, I think. Yeah, I've always maybe it's just because I'm old and grumpy, but I always have preferred wired headphones, although I guess if you're trying to hide them, wired are pretty hard to hide. But I guess I'm also not to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but I'm also not 100% comfortable, I guess, with having like the Bluetooth sort of radiation, sort of, or the beams or whatever they are, sort of next to my ears all the time. So I prefer a wired connection, I guess. So I want to get rid of that function. And who calls into that? Diff does. So I guess we probably need to hold off on deleting that. I would like to delete that, I guess. The other thing I'm going to do is, I think, change this perimeter name from indent level to nesting level. Guess I could have just done a search and replace on all of these. Okay. Yeah, that's what happens. The wires and then kind of start to, I think, to just break or snap. Although I've never had see, I've never kept my wired ones long enough for that to happen on me. Maybe once, maybe once. Oh, really? No, I've never really had mine break on me. I've always lost them first. And they've been so cheap I've usually had like a backup. It's like I used to lose them so frequently that I would just always have a backup ready to go. So when I would lose that pair, I'd open up my backup and then just hop on Amazon and order a replacement set right away. So they were like almost disposable. All right. So the other thing I want to do is change this stuff to constants, which I think I'll just put on the formatter here. So we have this format indent. So I'm going to put a constant, and I'm going to change this to default indent width equals 4. So then format indent, this is actually going to change into excuse me, an indent width. And this is going to go to self. Indent width. That is going to stay indent. So this is going to go change to indent width times nesting level. Let's see what that does for us. Wow, that looks good. Okay. So I think then we can delete this, and format indent is going to turn into the same thing as default indent width times the nesting level. Okay. Wait, you saved a pair of headphones by melting them? Uh Oh yeah, these are above. So now I have these silly functions here that essentially just return constants. So I'm gonna turn those just into constants on this class. So this is gonna be object end equals that. Object start I can't, but array end is gonna just be close parentheses and array start. It's gonna be that. And I think the other thing I'm gonna do is, and I'm struggling on what to call this, but I think I'm gonna call this an array element separator. And that's gonna be a comma. And I'm going to call this a property terminator. That's going to be a semicolon. And that will have basically all of our formatting parameterized. But let me see what that breaks. Oh, okay. Oh, and of course, I can never remember to type semicolons. So I think this is going to break some more things. So let me go to half screen. I feel like a blowtorch and a pliers and a nail can come handy in many situations, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what, but I just feel like having those things. You could get a lot done. Okay, so I'm a little bit surprised. So this is going to be turned into formatter array end. This is going to be the formatter or object end. And then we should have start value. This is going to be I'm just wondering now that I've made those constants on formatter if I should now make this a method. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like it should be a method. Like it doesn't really use anything. Although, I guess it does use that object ID. I guess I'll just leave that alone for now. It's not really... Okay, so now the other thing I want to do is in format array, I want to change this to self array element separator. And then in format object, I want to change that to property terminator. And I guess I'm going to need to do that in div. So I feel like there are other places where I have, I guess not. I guess I'll have to step through this a little bit more deliberately. Maybe in here. Oh, I guess I called this out to end value. Oh, you know where it is? It's in is it line end? Yeah, it's in here. And this is going to be okay. Now, was there anything else I wanted to do? Yes, there was actually in the formatter. But let me just walk through this real quick. So that constant is gone. We're going to want to get rid of this, I believe. So we create a name, create a new formatter, just get a default prefix off of that, and then do that. Just call that, and then afterwards we get the format. So that was the other thing I wanted to change. So I don't really like having this internal state here in the formatter where we build up. Basically, the way the formatter is it takes a variable essentially. And I wonder if I should now actually call this a variable formatter. Because the fact that it takes a reference means this has to be like a variable. It can't be a like a literal, I guess. But anyway, depending on the type that it is, it adds formatted lines to this array, and then afterwards, basically the caller needs to get this array back. And I have this note here about resetting that internal array or not. But if we just have the caller basically pass in an array, basically, then it doesn't matter. Like it's kind of up to the caller if they want to append to an existing array or just pass in a new one. But then the other mildly annoying thing is right, this is going to have each one of these format functions then is going to have to take, oh, I forgot a public there. Take another perimeter, which I guess is not a huge problem. Except for these where it returns a string, I suppose. But I also kind of don't want to just take a reference to an array. I mean, partly part of that is, well, I feel like mostly for that, it's because my static analyzer then is just going to give up on what type of array that is, I suppose. But also, I don't know, I just kind of feel like passing around explicit references in PHP is a little nasty, so I guess what I may just do is do a final class format result. And this will just be, this is going to be stupid. This is just going to be public formatted equals array. And that's literally all that's going to be. I guess I am going to call this a variable formatter, so let's make that change first. And fix everywhere that breaks. And actually, I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay. Now back here in formatter, I'm going to have everything take I think I called that a result. So this is going to go to result formatted equals this prefix. And the reference, so I'll just do that. We'll pass in the result here. Same thing here. Here. And here. So then this is going to take this format result. So format resource. Format array. This is also going to be this is going to take the results. Oops. Otherwise, so now I'm a little bit curious. So what are we keeping in the formatter now? If I could spell it. Keeping this for well, okay. I guess it's still okay that guess I decided there's no real reason to have all this stuff as like interned variable or whatever the right word is. I guess I'll just leave that. That seems okay to me. What are we doing here? I guess no. This is a little bit confusing. Key 1 concatenated with that. And then indent property. So then result formatted. Okay, so let me just take a look at that real quick. And so that is going to knock out this format array. This method here. And break a bunch of things undoubtedly. So I forgot to pass the result in. See how many things that break fixes. I mean, so here result is going to equal new format result. And we're going to pass in this result. And then if not as array, we're going to return this result formatted. Otherwise, we'll just return that. That should fix that file. Why not? Why can't you access that? '83. Oh, I guess we'll just return, otherwise we'll just return the array straight out. I guess that's a little bit cleaner. Okay. So now, in here, we're gonna create a new format result. And here, stick that there. Oops. Stick that there. Result. Formatted. And now instead of having to like put this in an array, we'll just add that to the array. Otherwise, that should fix all of those. 1323. Just make sure that works all right. So this is going to be the same thing up here, basically. We're going to create well, what are we doing here? We are, I guess strings is going to equal format or new format result. Strings, this is going to go to strings, and I guess we'll just do equals format, equals strings formatted. I think that will just fix all of those. Cool. All right. And actually, with that, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. So I'm gonna take about 5 minutes and use the bathroom. So I'll be back in a few. If you're still there, Basin, have a good night, and thanks for stopping in. Sleep well. Let me go throw away this banana peel. Okay, so this is all going fairly smoothly, I would say, so far. Knock on wood. Although I don't know if cheap IKEA pressboard counts as wood. So the next thing is I realized I had to split off. Well, right here. Actually, how we're dealing with strings, and so I think I'm actually going to pull that into its own method now. Well, if I can figure out how to use needlegun here. Okay. So this is going to be string. And I think what I want to do with this now is, right, I guess I'll bump this out. Is all this stuff here where I'm doing like string part stuff? This here, I think I may pull this into here. So I'm gonna make this a, I wonder if I can do self in here. And I don't know whether to call this pause, I guess, but it does equal self string pull. And so let's just not worry about that for now, but essentially what this is going to be is we'll just right, this is essentially just going to eliminate this conditional at the moment. So this is going to do formatting. That's just going to do that, and so this is going to turn into this format string. Now that is going to break some stuff now because I believe let's see, array, object reference, source. I guess this is just going to be string. we doing here? Value, prefix, suffix. And where else do we have a formatter? I feel like this assertion is not necessary here, right? We've already said yeah, so this is not necessary. This is going to turn into a string. That might be all I need to fix. Well, except of course I forgot format. What's the problem here? Unexpected token. Oh. Oh, I forgot to add these, so this is going to go to const string middle. String start equals, and just to make clear that this is actually going to be a bit mask. String whole is going to equal, and I'll put just a note here. I think I said 5.6 can't have. Yeah. Define hardcode constant value. That's going to be a bitwise or of string start and string end. And I suppose I should spell whole correctly there. 225. And diff though, right? No. Oh, yes, I probably need, okay. Got a little too excited there with deleting things. Okay. And so now I guess what I'll do here is string part. Okay, so all this is going to go here, I guess. So what we'll first do is we'll just format the variable here. Then if pos equals self, not equals, string start. We'll set formatted equal to the prefix plus an open thing plus formatted. And then if pos and string end, then we will stick that closing quote on there plus the suffix. So now, and then we go and split this up. And I think that looks good. Then we're going to have what? Formatter, format string, result value, value, I guess prefix, suffix, and pos is what we're saying. Where else do we have string part? I guess that's it. I will be amazed if that works, but wow, okay, sweet. And instead of position, maybe I'll call this part. Right, which part of the string are we formatting? Either the start, the end, the middle, or the whole thing? So I'm quite happy with that. Now let me take a look. That might be all I want to do in format here. So I don't really know. Oh, I do want to get rid of this. But now I feel like, right, we've sort of coalesced. We just, if you want to just do a simple variable format, we have this format variable function. Then otherwise, if you need to do like complex formatting, I don't know, I guess this becomes an API. We have this variable formatter now, which allows you to format pieces of basically composite values as the whole point. And I kind of want to make these like part of the framework's API so that users could basically do their own, use it for like maybe their own message formatting if they want to. So part of me would kind of really like to make this a tool in the toolkit, but I guess I feel like I may want to put a little bit more thought than into making sure this is like a reasonable API. But anyway. So that looks good to me. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? Excuse me. I think I wanted to pull out this pull out the formatting of the array keys here. So let's do that. So I guess this is going to be so public function format array index. Essentially, this is going to take hmm. So I'm just wondering about this export. I mean, I guess I could almost have this callback to format scalar, maybe. Like I part of me kind of feels like this should be part of formatting the array index, but also right, we need to get back. Right, we kind of need to know just the raw formatted key without this arrow. Excuse me, this arrow being concatenated to it. And I suppose I could do like I do with the object start, where if you need to know the actual name of the object, well, actually, this is going to be up here. You pass in a reference and it sets that. And then after it sets that, it goes on and does more additional formatting. Which then makes me, so what do we do down here? I guess we do the same thing down here, really. So we explode the key. Right, we may get something back. Or no, we should get something back. So, I don't know, I'm kind of inclined to do that. So what we're saying is result, I guess. Is going to be that. I'm not quite sure what to call that. Maybe formatted equals result. Or maybe formatted, and then result is going to equal formatted, and then we'll return that result. So what are we saying here? This would then turn into, well, so this would be, oops. Good Lord. Okay. This would be the index, and then this would be a reference to formatted, which could be null. So this would be a mixed. Well, I guess we're saying string or int. Param string formatted. Boy, I'm hurting here, and this is going to return a string. So let's see what this would look like. We're going to say I guess we'll say index equals this format array index, and we're going to pass in the key and I guess the key. That should not have changed anything, I believe. Uh, 336. Okay. I don't know if I like the name of this parameter, though. Well, who cares? And we're going to do kind of the same thing with format property. This is going to be the property, except this is just going to be a string. Okay, so format, so this is going to be something like this, I guess. So property, so formatted is going to be, so if property and oh no, okay, I guess we need this class. Oh no, okay, so this is going to be formatted, okay, and then result is going to equal with parts and parts one. Then result is going to equal and then we're also going to this comment might need to move up there. But so we explode on the null 0 basically, the null byte. Then the last one is going to be the property name, which we stick into formatted. What are we doing here, though? Well, it would be nice. So do I actually not have a closed string here, or is this just being stupid? I think it's just being stupid. Okay. So we do actually want that on there, I guess. Why is this having a hard time with this? Like, okay. Okay, so we're gonna have are we using the key down here? So now we're gonna have property equals this. format property, and that's going to be the key, the class, and I guess the key. So I think that should do that. Okay. So I think back here then, and I guess those don't actually need to be. Right, there's nothing in here that. Okay, so we're going to make these actually functions. Bump these out, get rid of the public. Let's just sort that out first. Okay, so then this is going to go to return format array index, and that's going to go key value. So that's interesting. Do I have a bug in here? Do I I think I do. I think I do. So what do we do? We Yes, I think we do. So we do. We do. So we're going to have class equals get class value, and we're going to need to set. No, we're going to need to set subkey class equals class. So I'm going to need to add that, and then this is going to turn into format property, and that's going to take key value and the key class. So then class key So we're here 12. 27. 1272. Why does this think this could be none? Oh, yeah. Hmm. Have an assertion error. Thanks, Ghoulie. Thanks for dropping in and lurking. Have a good have a good rest of your day. Get out there and enjoy it while we can, I guess. If you'd like to. I guess. All right, so hmm. Format property. I guess that could be an int actually. Is that gonna make so I guess we need to cast this to string. Okay. So I'm mildly curious now, though. Boy. What do we get here? Okay. And so what do we get if we stick null in there? Okay. Everything seems to be good. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Parameterizing that, I guess, or not parameterizing that, but pulling that out into a function, I guess, ended up being a smart thing to do. So is there any other place we manually format that? I guess not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, what's going on here? So, I guess right, because we're building names here with these, but they're not formatted. Right here, we're getting the formatted key back. Right, we're passing the format. And actually, what were we doing there? We need to make sure this is consistent. So down here. So we exploded the key. All right, so we exploded the key. We grabbed the last thing, or we exploded. Okay, we exploded on the empty string. We set the property to $ plus essentially the property name. If it was a private property, then we added the name of the class that declared it onto the property. And then we basically made the prefix and then we included that. Okay, so we did not maintain consistency there. Format, property formatted is going to be all of result is going to be that. So then I'm going to set formatted equal to result. We'll tack this equal sign on and then return that. That should maintain that should keep what we were doing. And now up here, I think we actually need to format that here. Which also means we no longer need to store the class there. But we're going to want to. I guess not. So I guess what we're going to do is format it so that we do want the raw value, but we're going to want namespace, format property, and that's going to be the key, class, and the formatted. And this is going to go to formatted. Where's name coming from? Oh, yeah. So, that's right. Name is being passed into us. So it's going to be named formatted. And do we want the same thing? I guess we want the same thing up here. So this is going to go subkey formatted equals array index. That's going to have key formatted. And this is going to go to formatted. Class and then key. It's going to change to formatted. We're going to have to format key now, which this is going to be stupid. It's just going to be that. And I guess we'll default this to the empty string. So what does that do? Changes nothing, which is good. So boy, that's crazy how many bugs are actually in there. That I wasn't even aware of. Pulling it out ended up being a good idea. I guess the one potential downside to that is that increases the workload a bit, because every key now we're formatting, but there you go. And where are we calling format indent still? Maybe it is worth keeping that function around. I don't know. Okay, let me just make sure I've written all that. Let's just take a look at what's going on here. This one potential thing is so what go back down here to format array. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. So that should be maintaining consistency. Okay. So let me take one last look through format, because that last change was motivated by looking through this and realizing I wanted to pull this out. I guess these are right. These are going to be API. And I feel like should go after format variable. I guess it doesn't really matter, but okay. So that all looks okay to me. I wonder if I should just commit that. let's just commit that. All formatting is now either parameterized or split out. Split out into its own function to ensure consistent formatting of all the things, of everything, I guess. No, this is already okay. Cleanup formatting. So I don't know. That commit may not stick around actually. I suppose I could maybe just push that up. Can't imagine why that would fail. But I think with that, I do actually need, my coffee's gone. I do need to take one more bathroom break. And with my coffee gone, I may actually brush my teeth as well. So I think I'm just going to take a short break here. And I'll be back in a few minutes. I was sure I'd blown my timer there, but I'm pleasantly surprised to find out I have not. I guess I've got to decide how much longer I'm going to go for, because I really would like to get this finished. At the same time, I kind of want to get out for a walk. So maybe I'll go to almost 4. I guess maybe I'll go for another hour and see how it goes. And how long have I been going anyway? Only a couple hours. Boy, I got a much later start than I thought. See, the problem is if I had started at noon instead of 2 o'clock, I guess, I probably would have been done here almost. But there you go. Summer days, I suppose. So I think I know I just looked through Formatter, but now I've had a few minutes to step away, and I'm just gonna take one more look at this. And this is stupid. Format indent, that's all fine. Format array index. Format property. And I'm kind of wondering now if I actually want to make all this stuff an API, or at least initially. It might be worth sort of doing that, but I would much rather like not make it an API and sort of make sure this is what it needs to be, rather than prematurely exposing this as an API and then having it sort of not be what we want, because then you run into backwards compatibility issues. What do we have here? Start, end, okay. So, oops. So I guess maybe the first thing that can happen here is these diff lines can go away. Oh, for Christ's sake. boy. All right. So the only issue with that is that might make PHP stand happy because now so what does delete value even do? I think this is actually going to change to string pull. I think. But what was I searching on here? Zip line middle. Wait a minute, if that's in the interface, do I actually need to... Guess we'll find out. Yes, okay. Do I actually need these? I guess I do. What is this? Get line position. This is going to return... you know what, this is going to be... this is going to be what? Variable. String pull. This is going to turn into string end. And this is going to turn into string middle. Now I guess we don't need this assert anymore. here. I don't know. Let's see what that does. Okay. So that was nice. Even. Got rid of an assert there. What else did I want to do? So I think... Ugh, excuse me. I believe I do have one more bug lurking in my diff formatting. And let me see if I can trigger it. So I feel like I want to do 1, 2, 3. All right, 6, 5, 4. We're in greater, so let's set that to 3. And then I want to set from 3 to be a reference to from 2. And do the same thing here. Now I want to echo format variable. I'm going to have to from. And then I want to do from to, and I guess, yeah, let me just do that. That should fail. So that's working. Or is it working? Oh no. That's because I did that wrong. This is what I want to do. Yeah, so this is a reference back to here when we just format it, but here it's just showing that it's 3. So in order to fix that, I guess what I'm going to have to do is actually wonder if I should include these changes as part of the last commit. Okay, so in order to fix this, I think I'm going to turn this into actually a class. So let's see here. And then this is going to take the scene and sentinels. And then these sentinels. So this is going to be actually well, I don't know. Ref sentinel is null. Private by boy. And then the public function construct, we're just going to want to set to a new standard class. Boy, I'm just slamming random characters down here. Let's see here. What did we say? I guess this is just a mixed array. Oh, boy. Well, I guess we could just stick all this in here. Okay. Oh, who cares? What did I just call that? Seen by Val. Let me just double check this. Oh, this is all right. So, if it's a scalar or an array. Oh yeah, so it's not necessarily a scalar. So if it's a scalar, an array, or null, then we set copy equal to the variable. Then we set the variable equal to the by reference sentinel, and then we check, or by the by val sentinel, meaning this is a value that no by value can be. Then we look in the list of seen values, and if we find that value, well, if we don't find that value, then we add it to the list. Otherwise, we set the return to that value, and then we set the variable back to the original value, I guess. So here it's somewhat similar logic. If we, or some slightly different, if we because this is a by reference type, and we're doing a strict match, we're only going to basically any sort of object. We're only going to find it if that object is already in there. That instance, that specific instance of that object is already in there. So if we don't find it, then we add it. If we do find it, then we need to determine if we have an explicit reference or just an object reference. So then we set, we copy off the object reference. We set that to basically a value that no by reference value can be, which is null. Then we check the array again. Oh no, we look to see if, right, we already know right, then we check that value again to see if it's changed to match var. Then we know it's an explicit reference. And then we set the value back. And then we return the reference. Excuse me. So that is that. So that will nuke this function. And let's see what that all breaks. So that, I think, will break a lot. Oh, that's right. Needs to be a dock bar or whatever the heck. Decorative comment or something. So, okay, so that is going to change the variable formatter. And actually, this is one thing I am not 100% sure about. Is if I can set I have a feeling this is not going to like that. Okay, as I thought. So the sentinels in the scene are going to change to references. And this is going to change into a reference checker. And actually, I guess this comment here can move up here. I don't know. I guess just to drive that point home. Where am I in format? Let's just see if that looks okay. Everything seems to be okay there. One. I guess this is going to be a reference checker. So I guess we'll do that. That's going to break a lot of things in format. Not too many things, actually. Equals this, references, check variable, and it's going to go to that, 2 and 4. What did I call this? Oh, references. 190. Okay. Calm down there, PHP Stan. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. So in So now the stiff state is going to have a this is going to change into state references check variable. So that now, whenever we create a new variable formatter, we're going to pass in state references. Except, actually, you know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go crazy here. So, I think at this point now, we can actually just use one formatter for all of this. So this is going to be comp equals so where do we now have the new variable formatter? So now we need the diff state in here. Or do we? I guess we just need a variable formatter in here. I have a bad feeling this is going to break things quite terribly. Not sure how I screwed that up. Where are we? Diff 1236. Oh, this is going to be state formatter. Where else do we call this? That fixes it all? Hmm. Well, what happened in test references here? 0, 1, 0, 1, 2. So why isn't that working? Um, all right, let us just, where are we here? This is what in, test if greater. Okay, so let us just in check variable here. If array 0 is a reference, array 3 is not a reference. If array 3, 3 is a reference. So checking if actual is a reference. Right, this returns what happens if I just var export that reference? Okay, so that looks good. Actual 0, 1, 2, 3 is a reference, so actual 3, 3 is a reference to actual 2. So what is going on here? I guess this is kind of what's happening here, and we're going to need to do that. If false equals reference, also if reference equals name. Is that what we're saying? That's what we're saying. Okay. Sweet. So that fixes that, I guess. And so maybe it's actually worth keeping this test. Boink. Why are you doing that? Stop that. Cert diff from to expected. So we want this to be right? Yes. Where are we here? Test. I don't know. You know what? Let's just stuff this up here at the top. Or I suppose alternatively we could stuff it down at the bottom. Good, good, good. So we want that to go to 3 and that to go to 2. These are going to need to be less than oh, yeah, that needs to be made greater. Okay, nice, 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 nice. So how long did that take me? Let's see here. Right. Did I? Okay. I was worried I had. Well, I am going to need to have to update that comment so it makes sense. Oh, I know why that's looking like that. Okay. All right, so what do we have left? I guess just some cleanup in diff here. But I think I may actually knock off. Maybe I'll come back to it tonight and just bang that out. Well, bang that out. That's probably, I feel like that's probably going to end up being like another 3 hours of coding. But I do kind of want to get something to eat, and I want to get out and enjoy some of the sun before it sets. So let me just, I guess, let me quit out of here. Just check my changes real quick. So let's just see here. This is all. Where are we here? Where are we here? Process value here in diff equal values. We're now using the global formatter. Same thing here. Passing in basically our global formatter. And then here we are now taking that formatter I'm just using that instead of creating a new one every time. And then here in format, we're replacing this gunk with just that reference checker. And then here we've just pulled all that into a class so that it can just carry the state around with them, or with it. And then we just have our test. So yeah. And let's just make sure that passed. I'm feeling optimistic. Curious what that did with our suite. Okay, so yeah, I guess I am going to call that a stream. And not sure if I'll be back on tonight. I mean, I have some other stuff to do and I keep blowing it off and working on this project. So one of these days I probably should actually get some of that stuff done. But yeah, if anybody's lurking or maybe watching this on the VOD afterwards, then I appreciate you joining me. And whoever, whenever, or wherever you are, I bid you peace. Take care.